You got to be patient with tennis.
Jason Prince is speaking from experience.
I remember when I was playing with my dad, and he would beat me, and I'd throw my racket over the fence. Just an 8-year-old that can't beat his dad.
He's not that kid anymore. Jason is part of a University of Charleston team that's been to the NCAA tournament 6 times in the last 8 seasons.
Jason is just a really smart tennis player. He makes the right shots at the right time. Very coachable.
Between his smarts and his drive,
for a hobby, he plays chess with his roommate. Pretty smart kid.
Hopefully get a good job after I graduate in accounting.
Not much more you can ask of a player.
If you're not doing well in school, you're not going to do well on the tennis court most of the time.
Just wait until you see him at Tays Valley Tennis Club.
You might say that Jason is an example of the ideal student athlete. Success in the classroom, success on the court. And when he's not in those 2 places, he's here, coaching, giving back to the community, and learning at the same time.
They love Jason. Jason wants to be cool when he is cool.
Jason grew up playing here.
Which is actually why I went to UC. I looked up to one of the players.
He's really grown into a fine instructor. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He's just a great example all the way around.
Being this kind of role model is its own reward.
Getting to see the huge improvements in beginners. I get to work on my strokes a lot. Actually helps me get back to the basics myself.
It's like being that 8-year-old kid again without the frustration.
I don't really consider it a job when it's something I like to do this much. It's kind of just like a hobby I get to get paid for. Any college student's dream, really.
On Monday afternoon, Bruce King, Charleston City Council member and Capitol High School parent, raised a concern at what was otherwise a typical Kanawha County Board of Education meeting.
What brought me here actually was the fact that when we met with Dr. During, he indicated that he would ask UC to abide by the current contract.
He's referring to a lease agreement signed by school superintendent Dr. Ron During, which allowed University of Charleston football to practice during the week no later than 4:30 in the afternoon.
We feel that both institutions benefited from this relationship of using the same field.
And then the following week, he met with UC representatives, and they agreed to allow UC to stay until 4:45.
Yeah, and that is to try to help our team to have longer than an hour and 30 minutes to practice, which for a Division II football team is not a lot of time.
King's concerns echo those of dozens of other parents. 4 football programs sharing space and time.
And I understand it may not seem like a big deal. Capital doesn't get out of school now until 3:30. Practicing until 6:30. Then they got to have a dinner, do their homework, and get a good night's rest.
I think that's been part of the issue, but we've been monitoring that, and UC's been getting off.
For the university's part,
we are responsible for continual replacement of the turf, as it needs it.
The most recent turf replacement was done in summer of 2018.
We take that, responsibility very seriously.
And UC even goes beyond what the lease agreement requires.
Sometimes at the own detriment to our own students and their access to our school, as we've opened that up to the local community, Kanawha County High Schools, free of charge.
I don't believe that the university has any ill intent at all.
Capital football parents just want options.
The school has a field to play on. It's not on their property, but neither is St. Albans. They've got to go across the town.
It shouldn't be Capital's obligation. They're getting cut out of revenue that they could use for football as well as other sports.
That is the other issue. Football is a major revenue source for any school or university that fields a team. Because the board owns Laidley Field, any team that plays here is sharing revenue. But in a statement from Dr. During, Capitol High School will now keep 100% of concessions sold at Laidley Field. That was announced Tuesday. Before, Capital kept 25% of concessions revenue. The rest went to Laidley Field, split between restocking and staffing.
They need to have what everybody else has.
Game day operations are now up to Capital, and the board is open to more dialogue.
We're very interested in hearing what the community wants. The board doesn't want to tell the community what the board thinks they need to have.
While the Cougar football team is getting ready for the playoffs,
there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. I'm hopeful that they can be.
Parents are stepping up to try to ease the inconvenience for these student athletes. Tonight, we are starting with athletes from Morgantown. Sure, you might be thinking Will Greer deserves the Heisman Trophy. Sure, why not? But consider this. Football, basketball, soccer, not the only successful Mountaineer teams. Meet the rifle team. Trust me, this is one talented group. Among the successful West Virginia University athletes, there is a team that quietly, patiently, and deliberately has brought 19 NCAA championships to Morgantown.
I see it as like humbling, all the work that we put into it that people don't see. We work for that one match all year long.
We are in a unique spot. Being in West Virginia, our mascot carries a rifle. You know, a lot of people grow up in this state, you know, hunting and fishing and enjoying the outdoors. When we're out and about and meet people, there's definitely that excitement about the sport, which is really cool.
There is no irony that the rifle team is highly decorated. Individually, these athletes are also international competitors and Olympic champions.
Yes, there's a lot of autograph collectors from different countries like Germany, and they send me mail all the time asking for signatures.
Senior and Olympic gold medalist Jenny Thrasher makes an interesting point. All that celebrity emphasizes how critical focus is to competition.
When you're up there shooting on the line in a competition, it is just you.
One of our big sayings is control the controllables. So control what you can.
Precision and consistency are the name of the game when it comes to rifle shooting. These are lessons that you can take with you through the rest of your life, even after you leave the sport.
Patience, discipline, that mental focus, time management skills, all things that really, you know, I think help them in the future.
That's important because for these athletes,
I'd like to own my own excavating or demolition company one day.
Higher education will be sometime in my future. I just don't know if it'll be immediately, and hopefully I will pursue being a professional athlete.
patience and determination will point them exactly where they want to go.
West Virginia State University head coach John Pennington knows what it means to grind. Mountaineer football fans know him for the catch. It was diving to catch a 28-yard touchdown pass from Rasheed Marshall in 2003 against Pitt. He doesn't do anything by half measures and knows how to do what it takes to succeed. He's the subject of this week's Train Like an Athlete, and this isn't even the warm-up. John Pennington warms up harder than most people work out.
This is just the warm-up.
Okay.
We're going to start with man makers. This is a Mike Barwood special here. So can't put the bar down until we're done.
You got a guy who's struggling on you. How does Coach Pennington get in their heads?
Why are you doing this? Why are you here today? So it all starts with your why. Once you know that, that's your fuel. Once you think about all that stuff, this is kind of easy.
Why become a football coach?
Well, you get a chance to help people and impact the community. You know, I love being part of that initial journey into adulthood. You know, they're 18 to 22. They think they know everything, when in reality they don't know a thing. And so, you know, there's so many diehard West Virginia State fans. You know, I want my kids to see me, you know, helping others, inspiring others. That's my purpose, and I'm intentional about it, and I want to help people. And you know, even though I'm not home all the time, you know, I think that will teach them more than me being at home playing cars.
When did you know you wanted to do it?
First day I ever did it. I always thought I would never be a football coach. I wasn't a huge rah-rah kind of guy. I mean, I played passionately, but I just didn't think I could be, yelling at people all the time. But you don't have to be that way to be a coach, and that's kind of what I learned. And day one was like, man, I'm having an impact in one day. You know, imagine what I could do if I became a head coach. If I had 100 people underneath me, I could teach them how to set goals and be a great student, and how to achieve what they want to achieve in life. And so I just wanted to give that gift back. I learned more in the locker room than I could ever learn in a classroom. You know, and I learned a lot at WVU and Wesleyan when I was in school, but nothing like what I learned in that locker room and in the meeting rooms. And that's what I feel like I get to do is I'm a teacher.